India's e-commerce industry is worth $83 billion with more than 19,000 e-commerce companies. But out of all of them, Meesho stands out as the only horizontal e-commerce player that's profitable. From a failed Swiggy for clothes model to making more than 3,000 crores in revenue, Meesho has disrupted India's e-commerce market. Now sure, everyone has been talking about Meesho and its profitability.
Meesho has posted a profit for the first time ever, horizontal e-commerce company in India to turn profitable.
But in today's video, I'll tell you about user and business insights that really got Meesho here. How it cracked profitability, how it managed to convince Bharat users to pay, and its road to becoming India's biggest e-commerce platform. Or should I say, profitable e-commerce platform. Let's dig in. To start off by giving you some context, Meesho processed 1 billion orders last year. Now an average Kirana store processes 200 orders a day. that's 6,000 orders a month, which means 72,000 orders a year. That basically means that Meesho did a blended business of 13,888 Kirana stores combined. But 8 years ago, things didn't look so rosy. The year is 2015. And Sanjeev Bornwal and Vidit Atre are two friends who have caught the startup bug. See, Sanjeev was a techie friend who worked as a Android camera hardware abstraction layer architecture designer and developer at Sony. And Vidit worked as a growth strategist for InMobi. A business and a tech guy coming together to build a startup. The recipe for success is right there. So in 2015, the duo starts discussing ideas they can build a company around. Everything looks interesting. SaaS, food, clothes. But food stands out the most. See, this is 2015. Swiggy and Zomato are going head to head, burning millions in marketing. And the insight for the new wave of startups is also clear. Reduce friction for any offline activity and bring it online to the tap of your fingers. And it works. Swiggy and Zomato did it by delivering food to you within 30 minutes of ordering online. Vidit and Sanjeev wanted to do this for fashion. But remember, there's no Meesho in the picture yet. In 2015, these two founders started Fashion Near You. Yeah. See, the idea was simple. Pick from a catalog of clothes from shops near you and it'll be delivered to your doorstep instantly. All market signs look positive for it to succeed. I mean, people were ordering food left, right and center, right? But it failed massively. And the reason was clear. People don't want to buy local clothes or get it fast. They want a collection, a look, and a lot of variety. They want to look at 100 options and choose one. No beginner's luck for this duo. This was a major blow. But something interesting happened here. Because they were building this for over a year, they went back with very interesting insights on how India shops. And this was a massive aha moment for us when we dug into the research for this topic. And let me tell you some insights. See, first, the tier 2 and tier 3 audiences have not been exposed to the internet as much as compared to you and me, right? So by default, all of their purchasing decisions are influenced from word of mouth. And also because there's immense trust deficit among these people, they only buy things that their friends or neighbors recommend. So enter the world of social commerce. See, social commerce has been happening in India and we haven't really paid attention. Think about your aunties, your relatives who put up product stories on their WhatsApp, Instagram or Facebook and sell it individually. This is where Meesho's pivot came into the picture and Fashioneer became Mary's shop or Meesho. Yeah, they love combining two words together. But back to it. See, the bet was simple. India's startup ecosystem was booming and Meesho decided to create a founder ecosystem of their own. The insight was simple. Empower housewives and women who were their core audience then in tier 2 and 3 cities who do small businesses selling items on their WhatsApp statuses and bring all of them on one platform. Remember, this is still not the Meesho we know today. They didn't really create an e-commerce platform then, but they decided to solve specific things for this target customer. First, they built a supply-side marketplace where resellers would have access to goods that they could sell. So resellers could create a Meesho profile and Meesho would do all the hard work of making things available for them to sell via all of their vendor supplier partners. Now these people, they could take things from the Meesho website and put it up on their WhatsApp statuses, collect payments via Meesho and Meesho would take care of all of their delivery and finally pay their margins to them. Amazing. Meesho created small businesses all over the country with a simple bet. that they'll bring small businesses online. And women who were homemakers now could call themselves business owners and build on their social capital. And this is where the Meesho fortunes changed. And Meesho became what we know of it today. See, Vidit and Sanjeev were so deep into the Bharat shopping insight that building a full-on e-commerce platform was literally the next best milestone that made sense. I mean, think about it, right? They knew the supply side because they literally built a supply marketplace. And they had their insights into how the resellers were selling to the customer. So Vidit and Sanjeev decided to turn their B2B2C model to a B2C model, going directly after the customer. And this is where all the Bharat inside goldmine lies. Let me tell you 3 of these core insights. See, first, Bharat gets a very bad rep, by the way. When we say Bharat, founders think villages, but it's not that really. Bharat is not villages. It's a low-income demographic earning less than $10,000 a year. They have an affinity towards their regional language. Around 70% of them are educated below the 10th grade. They're not tech savvy. They're the first-time users of the internet. Remember this, we'll come back to this later in the video. First-time users of the internet. They reside all over the country, even cities. But this is where the next 400 million users and buyers. Second, they're unlike the urban customer who prefers convenience over everything else. See, Bharat users are not very conscious of quantity and they don't care a lot about delivery speed. All they care about is the value of the money that they're spending. And third, as I said earlier, they have massive trust deficit. They don't trust what they see online. So the only real way to influence them is via word of mouth, which is very natural in tier 2, tier 3 towns, by the way. Because think about it, in urban settings, people just don't talk with each other a lot. Everyone's busy, they want privacy, etc. But word of mouth is very common in tier 2 and 3. Now with these insights, Vidit and Sanjeev took Meesho to an e-commerce trajectory. And today, they sit at more than 3,000 crores in revenue. Now, let's get to the meat and let me tell you how they really cracked this space. First, increasing the market buy. See, one super interesting thing about Meesho is that they don't really compete with Flipkart and Amazon at all. Remember, Bharat users are super new to the internet, and we of course have Ambanis to thank for that. So you see, about 50% of Meesho buyers are first-time internet users, basically ordering anything for the first time on the internet and ordering it via Meesho. That is mind-blowing. So they're not really chipping away at the current e-commerce market pie. They're increasing the size of the market pie itself. And you know the Great Indian Sale that Amazon hosts every year? In the latest edition, nearly 75% of the total customer base was from tier 2 and tier 3 towns. That's crazy. Now, did Meesho play a massive part in warming this crowd up for them? I'll leave that for you to decide. And something better, do you know Indians bought 12 crore smartphones in 2020, but only 2 crore of them were new? Because all the others were second-hand smartphones. Plus, all of them were in the range of 10 to 15,000 rupees. Now, what would stop Meesho from targeting these folks and selling these smartphones online in a few months? Nothing really. And one last thing before I move on to the next insight after this, promise, is this so interesting. See, China is the only market that has been able to crack bulk buying online. See, bulk, I mean, for example, you buy 20 kgs of atta and you get 10% off. All these quick commerce players, Zepto, Blinkit, they cry because of their low cart sizes. But Meesho is probably the only and the best positioned player to crack this. You know why? Community. Community buying is super common in tier 2 and tier 3. Basically, Gupta ji telling Sharma ji to order 20 kgs of atta if they are ordering their monthly groceries by default. And it works. It's like family. They don't have a problem with it. And Meesho is launching groceries soon. Is that by chance? Not really. That's Meesho increasing the market pie for you. Second, cracking repeat orders. See, any founder would tell you this. Cracking retention and getting your user to buy from you again is probably the toughest test of your company and your product. I mean, at the GrowthX learning experience, we have an entire week dedicated to teaching engagement and retention to our members. Everything from the GrowthX retention framework to segmenting users to understanding user churn, resurrection strategies, and metrics to track. After all, retention is the new acquisition, right? And I'll tell you how Meesho cracked it. And do check out GrowthX if cracking Meesho-like growth strategies is what you wanted. See, Meesho had 140 million transacting users and a billion orders on its platform in 2022. And 85% of these orders came from existing users. That is just beautiful. Now, how did they do it, right? See, they solved two things: frequency of purchase, but most importantly, trust. Let's break it up. By frequency, I mean making a wide range of use cases available strategically to targeted group of users. For example, you want a watch. Now you get a new watch once or twice a year maybe, right? But you can also get shoes, which you might get once in 6 months. And oh, by the way, you can get shirts and pants that match with them every month. You see what's happening, right? You can get all of them at Meesho, and they're basically getting you to purchase things on a higher and a shorter frequency. But trust is probably the biggest factor that they managed to crack. And there are multiple levers here, right? See, first, of course, is money. Nearly 70% of all orders are still cash on delivery on Meesho. We discussed this, right? Trust deficit society, plus 50% are making their first purchase online. But the second insight is where they won hearts. See, as we saw, Meesho came from a B2B2C model, where they built a great supply marketplace for resellers to sell to their consumers. The end customer till then had no idea about Meesho, but Meesho built a lot of trust with its resellers. Now, when Meesho went from B2B2C to the direct B2C model, they borrowed trust from these resellers to solve for the new model by keeping the reseller model intact as part of their order flow. The process now is beautifully simple, and they cracked trust, and they didn't let go of their resellers and built immense trust with them. And Meesho also built a great brand, going from 24% awareness, which means 24 out of 100 people knew about them in 2021, to nearly 94% awareness by 2023. Now, how did they do this? We actually sat down with the brand head himself, the man responsible for scaling Meesho's brand, and dug out insights from him on the latest episode of GrowthX Insider on how did Meesho get here. And what's better is the brand head Soumitra is a GrowthX member since 2021, which makes this episode even closer to our heart. Now to the next point of making money. Now, out of all of this, how Meesho really makes money is fascinating. I'll tell you why. Because they charge 0% commission from sellers on their platform, so they clearly are not making money there. Now, why they charge 0% is a classic e-commerce problem. See, e-commerce has always had a chicken and egg problem. Users don't come without great options which are provided by sellers, and sellers don't entertain you if you don't have a lot of users. So the 0% commission worked super well to get the best sellers on the platform first, which in turn attracted best users. So now Meesho makes money from two core sources. First is ads, but this is not a huge income source for them. But interestingly, they make most of their money from logistics commissions. Now this is where it gets interesting. See, Meesho serves around 3 million orders a day, but they spend zero on a delivery fleet. They've partnered with companies like ExpressBees, Delivery, and Shadowfox to deliver all of their goods. But because of the large number of orders, Meesho owns 50% of the entire logistics delivery volume combined in India. So they essentially own a monopoly over their third-party delivery partners' businesses. And this gives them enough room to dictate commissions on delivery. Plus, when you're talking about profits, Meesho in the last 12 months has brought down its marketing costs by 80%. 80%! But still 3,200 crores in revenue. This basically means that they're doing a great job in getting their existing users to pay more and gaining market share organically, because their users only buy online when they trust someone in their social circle who bought online from Meesho previously. So they're playing the acquisition game beautifully. See, Meesho is a great example of how Indian startups need to scale to have a real GDP impact for India to become a $10 trillion economy by 2030. Now, to do this, operators and leaders like you and me in the startup ecosystem need to scale to have impact on revenues in their companies. And we at GrowthX recognize it and stand hand in hand with the mission to create large, sustainable businesses. It's not a good to have anymore. Revenue growth is the only way to survive and build long-term startups. So to learn the science of revenue-led growth, do check out the GrowthX membership. The link is in the comments. That was it for the Meesho story. If you like this, you would love the Airbnb wireframe where we broke down their path to reaching $1.9 billion in profits. I'll see you in the next one.